and what he was going to do, but nothing can prepare me for what I've seen him go through.
It was the worst day of my life.
I've never cried so much. We've been caring for Jesus for so long, and to see him and not be able to care for him was more than I could bear.
I did betray him. I followed him to the courtyard of the high priest, where the chief priest and the whole Sanhedrin were falsely accusing Jesus. I watched as they were falsely accusing Jesus. It was then I was questioned about knowing him. 3 times I denied him, just as he said, just as the rooster crowed.
It was early, very early, and yet there was a very large crowd already gathered where the priests had taken Jesus before Pilate. It was a long night waiting to see what was happening. He was so badly bruised and beaten, but he was still standing tall and strong. He had clearly not slept, and he appeared with Pilate.
Noah's voice could be heard in the crowd. They were all yelling, "Crucify him!" But Pilate had said that Jesus was not worth killing.
Barabbas, the murderer, the rebel leader with no conscience, this is who the crowd chose. Away with Jesus, release Barabbas. I can still hear it. I can still see it.
He was bloody, beaten, and bruised, trying to carry the cross to Golgotha where he would be crucified. And then the Syrian named Simon was forced to carry it for him when he no longer could. And so there he was, crucified, and above him a sign that read, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. They cast lots for his clothes and hurled insults at him. His son, crucified among criminals.
It was dark, and I heard Jesus cry out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And then there was an earthquake, and we all knew that Jesus had died.
Joseph of Arimathea had prepared Jesus his body and brought him to the tomb. I was there. I saw him place Jesus there and roll the stone over the door.
But I guess some people were concerned that we were going to try and move the rock. So Pilate posted guards outside. But the women were the first to arrive, and I'm pretty sure they can't move the rock.
The guards? Ah, yes. You mean those tough Roman soldiers who were paralyzed with fear when the angel appeared? I'm pretty sure they're going to be fired.
I spilled my spice all over the place. I was covered from head to toe.
I thought Joanna was going to faint. She was so startled by the angel, she threw up her hands and hid behind Mary.
I almost beat myself.
It was the most amazing sight a mother could see. Just a glimpse of the glory of that angel gave me more hope than I had in a long time. Well, he told us Jesus wasn't there, that the living are not found with the dead. We ran back to tell the others.
I was tripping all over my dress. I fell the whole way.
Oh, they show up, and Joanna was filthy. She had dirt and grass all over her, and she was and her hair was a mess. And she was laughing non-stop.
The girls were a little out of sorts. I mean, between Joanna's laughing and Mary's story about an angel and the other Mary talking about passed out soldiers, I really couldn't see any other option but to go see what they were talking about.
John was still processing. I knew better. I started running. I was bent on getting there first.
The next thing I know, Peter's jogging down the road. Well, that wouldn't do.
So then there's John racing past. It's not a competition.
I totally beat Peter to the tomb.
And when we got there, it was empty.
He was risen.
He had risen!
He was risen.
He was risen.